Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Rob Davidson, and I'll be hosting the webinar today. We're going to give it a couple minutes before, just to give everyone a chance to join, and then we'll get started today. We're going to be talking about Unite and its uniqueness and value to churches as a church-focused website builder. We have 12 people here now. Give it one more minute. I hope everyone's having a great day today. Oh, here we go. We got some more people coming. I hope everyone can hear me. For those of you using GoTo for the first time for a webinar, there's a chat and a question button up there at the top. I am moderating and hosting myself today, so I'm not going to be able to kind of walk and chew bubble gum at the same time, but I'll do my best to answer questions, you know, throughout, but mostly at the end. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started today. Thank you all for joining us on this webinar. My name is Rob Davidson. I am the Sales and Marketing Manager here at CTS, and one of our favorite products is Church360 Unite. And so we're going to be talking about that today. So before we get into it, we've built a specialty team of software consultants that are always going to be around to help you. So whether it's sending them a question while you're in this webinar, or just after the fact as you're continuing to evaluate solutions for your church, our team is happy to have conversations with you and help you navigate the problems that you're trying to solve with technology. So I've added their contact here, and I believe you'll see it again before this webinar is over today. So let's get into it. In today's webinar, we will be covering, like I said, Church360 Unite. It is a website builder product. So it is a church-focused version of things like Weebly, Wix, Shopify, WordPress. It helps you build and then host your website. So it's specifically built, like I keep saying church-focused, it's built for ministry leaders, administrators, volunteers, even pastors, depending on who's managing the software in the church. Ultimately, it's built for people who don't have a coding or a website building background. We call it our what you see is what you get web builder environment, where you don't need to know HTML or another coding language in order to change what's happening on the screen. And we do that because we believe that ministries should be able to have an online presence in a very easy and straightforward way. So we've built a tool to help them do that. So really quick, if you're not familiar, Concordia Technology Solutions is the team that builds these products. We're responsible for everything Church360. So that's members, kind of the congregation church management software, Ledger, accounting software, and Unite, what we're talking about today. And we also, back in the 80s, built Shepherd Staff. So if you're familiar with those names, we're the team behind it. Oh, that's my old title. I used to be the manager of digital products, and now I've kind of been upgraded to manager of sales and marketing here. And your needs, your church is the other key people here. So, I think whenever you're evaluating a solution, a lot of times you get people who are trying to push their product on you, and we really like to get away from that kind of mentality. You have to make the right decision for your church. So we're here today to show you, hey, this is what Church360 Unite has to offer to solve some of the problems in the church office. But no matter what, we want you to pick the right option for you, and that's not us. We're going to wish you a blessed day and the best results in your ministry. Unite is not going to be for everyone. So we want to make sure that we find the right people who would get the biggest benefit from Unite, and then support in getting onboarded and using the product to solve those problems in their church. So jumping in, we're talking about Unite today. We're in spring, so we're going to talk a little bit about spring cleaning, creating a great web environment that's clean and easy to understand. You have, a ton of reasons to have a website for your church, and so we want to make sure that it's focused and understandable by anyone who visits, whether or not they are a returning member, that's an active congregant, or if they're a visitor. So, I'm talking about these problems in the church. What's the problem? Well, churches have unique website and communication needs, right? Most solutions fall short of meeting those needs or create more work than they should. And that's the downside of getting a non-specialized solution for churches. Last month we did a webinar on Ledger. It's an accounting software. So a lot of churches use QuickBooks. So we talked about then how Ledger meets those needs that are church specific, where QuickBooks is built for businesses. Unite is the exact same way. It gives you specific tools that help churches. They're not going to help, the mom and pop plumber or, e-commerce site. That's not what it's built for. It's built to help churches and to reduce the amount of work that it takes to operate a website so that church offices can spend more time on the ministry, which is why we all serve the church. So, what are kind of some unique pieces that make Unite so special and church focused? So there's a couple things. So online directory, that's one of my favorites. So we give you the ability to connect with our church management system and let your congregants update their contact info so that you don't have to. So the integration happens automatically, and from there you can invite your congregants to, with their own unique login, access the website and update their specific contact information so that your church office has the most up-to-date information at all times. That, whenever you're sending out, invites to events, or in case of emergency or other reasons you're reaching out to them, you always want to have the most up-to-date contact information. And this helps you do that. If someone changed jobs and you want an emergency contact because your church is connected to a school, this, inviting people to update when they have a change of employment, what their work email is, etc. All these things, these are super valuable to help churches take a little bit time off their plate that they would have had to spend to manage this task. I'm sure you get people all the time asking you, do you have the right contact information for them? Do you need to update it, etc.? That takes time away from other tasks you could be doing. Discussion groups. This is super unique compared to other website builders. So I'm really familiar with things like Squarespace and Shopify and WordPress, and the ability to build in a discussion group or forum is pretty unique nowadays. That it was a much older way of doing stuff on the web, and we've really gotten away from it because of the advent of social media. But there is still a real need to have online engagement within small groups and different ministries that you have at your church. That's why we've included these discussion groups within pages on your website. And I'm going to show you that today. Text and email is another thing that makes this website software unique. You can send texts and emails to your congregants for free with your subscription. There is no additional cost for sending texts or emails. And again, it doesn't hook up with MailChimp or something like that. It's all us. And so that allows you, again, to communicate, right? Anything that you need to talk to your congregants or visitors about, you can do so through your church website, which takes, another cost and, more of that time cost as well off of your church office's plate to help them be more streamlined in all that they do. And above all, as I've said, it's easy to use, no coding or previous knowledge of website building required. All right, what parts make up this software? I've teased a couple things that make Unite unique, a couple other things that we'll be going over today: an event log, church directory. We have page templates that come pre-populated with information for you. The software allows you to have unlimited users, so no matter what quantity. So many web builders allow you to have like 3, and if you need more, you need to pay for them, either get a super expensive subscription or pay by user. We let you do that completely included with any subscription you have, unlimited users. We have design templates to give your church different feels, whether it's seasonal or to represent the brand of your church. We have a church management software sync. I can tell you for a fact, Shopify does not have that option. There's logins and roles. So again, you can personalize what the access to the website builder is by someone's unique login. We'll show you that today. We have discussions groups and text and email. So how does your church benefit? Church360 Unite helps you manage all of these things that I've listed here in your office tasks and more. Our software makes organizing a church online as easy as possible, saving you time and supporting your ministry efforts. So let's get into it. Time for our demonstration. So give me a moment to kind of transition here. We'll be covering the navigation, user roles, kind of a lot of the stuff that I've listed off to you, and kind of some website basics. So let me go ahead and, okay, so I gotta get, nope, this one, and then I think I have to, so I'll stop sharing for a second. All right, so hopefully everyone can see this here. This is our demo site. We call it Christ Community Church. So this is kind of a representation of what you'd see on a home page. So again, you can customize this to look however you want, but hey, this is a decent looking website. It doesn't feel like it was built in the 80s. It's fresh and easy to understand where you should go when you enter the home page. But one of the things that's a little unique is you have the sign in right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. Okay. So you can see, let's jump back to home. All right. So now you've seen that my navigation has changed. Here I am turning the screen. So up here you can see that you have a navigation bar. This is specifically for the builder. So we're going to go through this. Navigation is the first thing I like to run through, just to give you a feel of everything that, what levers do you have to pull within Unite, right? And then whenever you are on a page and you're wanting to do editing, there's 2 other things I want to point out. The edit page, that button is right here. That'll pop out and allow you to kind of adjust specific settings. So your meta description, that's important for SEO, page title, the URL slug there, and whether or not the page is published or not. And then if I click in, I can edit cell type and other pieces here. We allow people to do HTML if they have that ability, but it is never necessary in order to edit anything on the website. You have a plus button here that you can always add more stuff. So there you go. So rich text, you can add anything, add pictures, video, etc. So I want to get remove cell. Great. The other thing I want to point out, in addition to these kind of just editing basics, is we have this eye down here. So this eye, if you click this, this will pop up, and depending on where you are in the software, so if I was in one of these top sections here, it would pop up with specific information relevant to where I am on the software. It will also allow you to send a message to our support team that, within all business hours, they're a local team. They're right down the hall from me, and they are incredible at answering any questions that you have. We have a great onboarding process for all of our products, and they will be fantastic at kind of getting any question that you have when it comes to building your software. It'll get you locked and loaded. So if I say here, let's say if I search settings, okay, so I searched settings and it pulled up a couple help articles that I could click and it would jump out to of anything that I have here. So again, very useful tool to answering any question you have. So let's jump in. I like to do settings first because it's the least fun. So we got some church information here, just super basic stuff. We have access to calendars. So again, I guess that's something to mention here. How many websites do you know that have a calendar that's fully integrated with either your church management software or free floating that you can use to invite people to events? And that's huge for increasing attendance and engagement of your congregation and things that are really a priority for your church, whether they're fundraising or just community engagement, right? So list it for education or business planning, or if you have a council meeting, you could create a calendar for that, confirmation anniversaries. So you see it's really in depth for all the kind of the levers you have here. The domain, that's the www dot, Christ Community Church or christbakersville.org, whatever it is for your church, you would put that here. We offer a Google Analytics integration. So again, that's not something necessary you have to do, but for those of you that are a little bit more, tech focus, you could do that in order to understand how people are moving through your site. We also allow you, like I said, to integrate with your church management software and with Shepherd staff. So that allows information to flow freely between church management softwares, giving you, a super powered church website. You also got church links. So when you saw on the home page, you saw those, social links like every other website down at the bottom. You have those options to throw that in there. And actually, we don't have a Twitter. We got rid of that a while ago. So I'm going to get rid of that and save changes. Oh, fantastic. And then we have texting. So when you send in an opt-in message for texting, this is what you would control there. You want to have people to opt in to texting in order just to navigate kind of those best practices and laws so people don't feel like they're getting spammed. So themes, this is a great area. So, I am so used to website builders that you have to pay hundreds of dollars to get a theme. We don't like that. So we've given you all of these themes for free included with your subscription. So you can see here there's a lot of different kinds here, and each one then has color kind of variants to each. So we can go to earth tones, anything here. There's a lot of options. And again, I could spend 15 minutes going through these, and I don't want to have to do that because I really want to get to the meat of everything we're talking about today. But you can see there's a lot of kind of beautiful designs here. And if I was just going to quickly, so this won't be optimized when I click that. Here, let me do this and then apply theme. And the theme has been changed. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Oh, and look at that. So you can see that it's changed. So again, it's that easy to redesign your website. So we also have, you can get really, really in depth with the styles, the colors within the site. We give you a lot of control over that process. And again, if you want to get into the code, we give you the option to do so, but it's not required. All right. Now this area, this is the logins and roles and users area. So as you can see here, we got a list of everyone associated with this church. This data is pulled from the church management software that lists all of your people data. So we've been able to pull that, right? So I get that list in this first column here. And then for those that have emails, that populates in this row, right? And then we can see here that some of them are actually, they've been integrated into the church website software and now they're a user, but some are administrators, right? And so you can see that there's a different level of role. So you're going to have different access to the software. Last signed in, so again, you can keep track of everything. And then you have listed, and that's whether or not they are listed within your church directory. Again, if you have kind of like an admin account that's not for everybody to see, you can keep that private. Mailing lists. So this is really neat. This is where a lot of that, communication stuff happens. So you can build whether or not they're focused on a small group or a ministry or a service team within your church, you can build a mailing group, right? So we have one. This is a smart group here, a board of elders. So that's pulling data from our church management software and then populating it in here. So you don't need a church management software to make use of these unique features. So that's where you can see, maintenance, lawn care, elders. Those are all built within the software itself. You don't need an integration, but for those that do, you can have that added in that extra step. So that's really, really neat. You can always delete them here. But again, this gives you this chance. So if I want to send a message to everyone on the maintenance team, I can send them an email. And then we don't have many people logged into our text thing because it's a demo site, so we don't want to spam people with numbers, but a text option would jump up there where applicable. I'm just not kind of seeing that now. Then we kind of have a communication page that shows you each of the people that are within your church that have actual accounts, what their email is, phone numbers. Yeah, so where I'm seeing no one's logged in with a phone number, so we don't have that option in the short term. But then you have what groups are they a part of and what mailing lists are they a part of. So it allows you to kind of keep track of everything in the church office. Then we have an activity page. So I love this stuff, whether or not it's within a church management software, an accounting software, or your web builder, because this allows you to see everything that's happening in your site. So if you are giving someone an aspect of a little bit of permissions and they go in and change everything, you can see exactly what they've changed, which allows you to be really intentional with the build of your site. So we have all that. So you can see here, Kent, that's the name of our, fictional pastor for this church. He added Bob Seifert, right? And this household and changed some phone numbers. So you can see there's a lot of information here, and it's going to keep populating that based on data that happens on the website or if it happens in the church management software. So again, you have all your data in wherever you need it. So now let's go to the email log. And sometimes because we've been using this so long, it takes a second. Come on. Or actually, here we go. So this is where we have everyone who's been sent an email or sign up for text messages from Christ Community Church. You have all that here, and you have the delivery. So it'll tell you, hey, you have it failed, it bounced, so you might not have the right information from them, or they've, for some reason there's an issue. So it'll tell you, hey, you might need to circle around with them again. And then I'll tell you all these times where it's successfully delivered. And again, you have an unlimited amount of records here. We're never going to cap you. So that gives you a lot of data to be able to kind of just know everything that's happening within your church and your website and your communications. We have texting opt-in. One of our software consultants are the ones that opted in. So there you go. And then we have comments that are going onto pages from the software. So if I'm in a discussion group and someone leaves a reply, depending on the settings, I can set that we need to approve it before posting it. So I can go up here, click it, and then hit approve. So that just makes sure everything that's being posted to your site is representative of the community you're trying to foster on your church. It's a great tool. And then we have posts here. So we have a number of feeds that you can build out on your site for whatever reasons you might need, whether or not they're news and announcements, they're prayer request boards, they're sermons, or a pastor's blog. You can do that all through Unite and have dedicated, posts that then are associated with a specific feed. So again, it gives you a lot of tools here, the software. So, and then finally, this is, in our quick navigation tour, this is pages. So this gives you a feel of your sitemap, everything within your church navigation. So in here, you'll see that we have some sections that are marked as members only, right? So again, this is the uniqueness of Unite, where your congregants have a login, and those that have a login, right, that have gone through the process to get set up, they can see stuff that is for members only. So you don't want everyone to see, the calendar. right? So if you see here, I can see that here, all right, and I can see everything that's populated on the calendar. But what if I log out here? I want to go to the menu. The menu has changed on me a little bit. Okay, so if you see here, so I'm not logged in right now. Where'd that calendar mark go? That disappeared because it only shows that page in the navigation if I'm logged in. So that ensures that information that you want to keep private stays private. So, all right, and then I'm automatically back because it remembered my spot. Go back to the home, but you can see that up in the navigation, it's appeared now. So that goes for every page that's been marked members only. We have some that you mark as drafts, so you can kind of build them and not publish them yet as you work on them. And then we have this one. This one is a feed, right? News and announcements. I'll show you guys that later. And then we have other ones. So you can list mission trips, community stuff, forums, churches. Again, this is creating a hub for everything going on in your church to allow your congregants to engage more actively with everything that you have going on. The worst thing is to throw an event or something that's really important to your church office and no one shows up. Having it on the website is the first step for making that information as available as possible. Because again, it's 2024. We all live really busy lives, and being able to have a link to something ensures that I'm going to visit it later. Okay, so that's the active menu items. Then I have available menu items over here, and that goes through everything that's probably in progress or just a list of all of the pages that we've built on this. So we can see this is a pretty substantial site here. So, but then what if I want to, so we have a category here. This is for your heading. So if we jump on here, these are your categories. I'm new, about us, connect. So then that creates a drop down for your site. So if I go to page here, you can see I'm new has all these drop downs, right? So if I wanted to create a category, I could do so, and it would put that right here. Okay, but the other option is page. Oh, it's gonna make me add it. Okay, what should I call this? New information. That's terrible. Okay, so now let's jump to page. So this here is the page templates I mentioned before. So we have design templates that are the look and feel of your site, and page templates helps you kind of pre-populate the content of your site. So you can always start with a blank page, but we also have group pages, and I'll show you what those look like, after they've been built out and they look pretty here in a second. And then we have feed pages for blogs or sermons or prayer requests, what have you. So, but then we also have these other pages that are kind of based in, we work with a lot of churches, so we know, hey, this isn't going to be everything, but here's some basic sites or these web pages that, very commonly churches need. So worship times. It's pretty important to let people know when to worship. How to get to the church from a main highway or a landmark, mission and vision, fellowship opportunity, our staff. Again, these are things that are, pretty common to many churches to want to talk about on your church website. So if I went and created our staff page, create that page, staff test page. I'm gonna hit enter. So that's created it. I'm going to put that underneath new information there so it's nested, right? I'm then going to publish that. Okay. Now, if I know what I'm doing, that should have done that. I can hit this. Oh, I need to save. I forgot to hit. Okay, so that's my bad. I then even additionally hit a wrong thing. So let me try this again. Our staff, create our staff test page, and drag it to the bottom here. Come on. All right. Boom. Publish, and then save changes. Slug has already been taken. You're killing me. Okay. There you go. Okay, so it probably auto-saved that first one I made, and I just didn't see it up in somewhere around here. Yep, right here. So now that I'm back on task, so it should be up right here. So there were so many that dropped down over here. Go to this test page, and this would be pre-populated on that kind of content page template. So that just kind of gives you the little nudge that, hey, these are some important pieces of information to include on an R staff page. So let's go ahead and delete that. So that's going to pull that up. I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit delete. All right, gone, and save changes. All right, there we go. So, oh, it doesn't exist anymore? Bummer. So, all right, so now we're back on the home page. So I'll give you a quick tour of what a fleshed out Unite site could look like, just to kind of give you a feel. I've talked about these technical pieces. Now, hey, now put into practice, what do these look like? So I just did change the page template, so this might, or the design template, so it might not be perfect compared to what we typically tour on, but it'll give you kind of an idea of what Unite sites look like. So let's jump up. I love that jumps into kind of a collapsed menu there. Okay, so let's go to announcements. So this should be a feed that they've built. So here, I'm trying to find like some good page examples. Do we have stuff on newsletter? Yeah, so we have a couple of things on newsletter here that then pop out. We just attached a blank PDF, but that allows you to kind of, if you have a resource in a newsletter that you do in Publisher or something, that kind of allows you to jump to that real quick. Contact us page. It's really simple, built out. Worship times. So this is a little bit more built out, as you can see. Mission vision, and then we got, maybe I don't even want to risk hitting that video, but I'll hit this. I don't want to make a loud noise or something, but so you can see, hey, this is an example of a mission and vision page. Super straightforward. Prayer requests. Do we have stuff? Yeah, we have a prayer with the newest prayer request. We have one, right here. Please pray for my grandmother. We have some comments on it. So you can see that, hey, this kind of creates a way for church to foster, community together. So let's talk about members. So these are all your church directory that you have online, but as you can see, it's members only. So I can only see this because I'm logged in. So then I can go into each one of these and kind of see, hey, if I'm, a elder in the church and my responsibility is the Belton family, I could find their contact information in case they hadn't been in church for a while and I want to reach out and see if everything's okay. So yeah, you can see that. So let's see one of these that are probably built out a lot. So yeah, so you can see the whole household here, right? And then I can edit the household. And you can see I can edit the household back. And I'm pretty sure if I jump into Dave, I can then edit his profile. So it shows that he's not set up with Church360 Unite, but this information is still editable. He's got his work information here, his cell, his home phone. If he still has a home phone, right? You can see all that here. And then you could see if Dave Abbott was a part of groups, you'd be able to see him active on those groups. So let's go back to members. Let's find Kent Williams. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that we have Kent in some groups. Let's see here. Here we go. Okay, so then this shows his activity. So his groups, he's on the church council, the women's ministry, the men's ministry, digitized study, and then it shows his activity here, right? What he's been talking to people on different ministries and groups. So let's go ahead and show those off a little bit. Groups. So this shows you all the groups that we have for Christ Community Church. So if I would look at men's ministry here, We can see people who are, members of the group, any upcoming events, and discussion. And again, this is a really, for demo's sake, a really simplified first page, but you can always, make this look beautiful and add a lot more information, maybe announce, the upcoming men's breakfast, you name it. It's like, I have a question here. Can you make all or part of a profile private so that only church administrators see it is not visible to regular members? So that's going to be based on roles. So if you have roles set up that when you invite people they can't see something, that's going to be what you can build in that case. Administrators can obviously see a whole lot more. All right, and then kind of last thing, let me show you another group. It's maybe a little bit more. So maybe this one's a little bit more active. Yeah, so this has been built out a lot more. And you can kind of see different posting and stuff that they added. So you can see we can create kind of a neat environment for your congregants to come visit, learn for more information about whatever the topic or group is. And then you can have members or small group leaders kind of lead discussion and fellowship for the group in question. Do the roles integrate with the roles on Church360 members? I think eventually we're going to get to that point where there's a lot more overlap. Right now, I believe the roles are distinct from Church360 members and Church360 Unite. There's a lot of similarities, but I think in some cases people might want to create different roles in one software than in another. So that's why we create that separation, Heidi. Are the roles in Unite the same as the roles in members, or do you have to set the roles separately? Kind of what I just said to Heidi Todd, it would be separate roles. And then Lee asked, does this interact directly with Shepherd staff? So it does. So in the settings here, I had an integration page where you can see that Shepherd staff database, you can integrate that with your Church360 Unite account. So our software team, once you're up and starting with the software, they'll work with you on how to do that. So all your information syncs between the two. So the profile pages in Unite show much less information than what you see in the profiles in members. Correct, Heidi. So for instance, you're not going to be able to see, pastoral notes in Unite, because we don't want that information to be on the web. We want that to be in a much more secure environment on Church360. So members. So everything is super safe behind Unite. It's private. Only people with login get access to that. But we want to make sure that there's a special level of security around things that are more sensitive. And so that's why we kind of create a little bit more of a garden wall between what we show in Unite versus stuff that's available to you and members. Yeah, in many ways, it is like a directory. It's kind of blending that place, Heidi, of a web environment with a directory environment. So if you're looking for a website with, an e-commerce background, stuff like that, that's not going to be Unite. Most churches don't need this. This is for things that are really focused in on helping the church office. So I think I've gotten to all the questions. Please feel free in the question section, feel free to leave a question. That's pretty much everything for today. Let me jump back to, here, I got one more thing to show you. All right. So thank you for attending the webinar today. One thing I want to make everyone aware of is that we're doing free church software assessments for you and your office team. Not sure if you have the best process and system for your church office, whether that includes church management software, accounting software, or your church website, like we talked about today, we're more than happy to take a look and let you know if there's something you can fix or a workflow that can be optimized to save you time. So reach out to me or our CTS software consultants if you're interested in either an assessment or talking more about Unite. We're going to be distributing the recording to this probably in the next day or so. Right when we finish, I'm going to get it uploaded to YouTube, and then we're going to send everybody the link as soon as possible. So I'm going to stick around and answer any final questions everybody has. So Nicole asked, is Unite an upgrade from 360 members or two separate entities? Is there an app to connect to Unite? There is not an app to connect to Unite, and it is a separate entity from 360 members. So you don't need one in order to operate the other. So if you don't have members, that's totally fine. You get a church-focused website ready there for you, but there's a lot to be gained from having members with it. Would Unite be something most churches would use independently of 360 members? In other words, most churches have either just members or just Unite. So from my understanding, we have 1,000 to 2,000 Church360 members, right? Subscribers. A subset of those, I think we have 500 to 600 Unite subscribers. So I think for most part, there's a lot of overlap between the two because the benefits are so great, Heidi. But it's something that we definitely have plenty of churches that use a different church management software to run their church office, and then they like Unite's kind of communication stuff or the directory pieces. So they use Unite for that, separate from members. How many churches are using Unite with Shepherd staff? I would have to check. I don't know that number off the top of my head because we have thousands since the 80s of Shepherd staff purchases. So, that's not something I'm so Church360 members focused a lot of time. I don't have all those stats with me, but that's something that I can circle around and get back to you if that's something that you need to know. So let me make a note here. Oh, this isn't working. So let me make a note for myself real quick. Apologize for the delay. Lee, I will shoot you an email here after the webinar. Would like to know their feedback on how well it integrates. We'd be happy to get that. We have a lot of people that offer to be, testimonial and just kind of talk to other churches considering Shepherd staff. Is the text and email capability in Unite separate from or synced with the capability in members? It is synced with, but it does not require members to work. So if you just have Unite, you can send that off completely on your own. You don't need members, but it does sync with members if you have the subscription from the same customer account. Any other questions here? I have plenty of time, but if I don't see anyone post something for a second. Oh, new question. Heidi, we are so in need of an updated website. Unite seems so user-friendly, but we do have 360 members. If you have both and the same person is managing both, would it be doing a lot of double the work as far as managing both? I don't think so, and it's kind of what I was getting to before, that as much as you don't need both to operate, I would say there's a huge benefit from having both of them because so much is synced. So your calendars are synced, your kind of directory stuff is synced, all of your members are synced. All of that information is freshly available to you, so you don't have to go and add, all of these people all the time. That you don't have to put like James Abbott twice in both places. So all of that information is synced down so that it's ready for you to kind of work with instead of having to, build that information from the ground up. Can a church stream from YouTube to the Unite website? So yes and no. So like we don't have our unique, streaming feature, but if you're streaming from YouTube, you can embed that into a page here on Unite, and that's the link that you give people. So you can totally do it. We know churches that do it, and that's kind of their way of kind of connecting YouTube with Unite. It's through an easy embed of that. New question here. Looking at the pricing options for Unite, there are different tiers for storage. What would be actually stored on the website? Pictures. Pictures and I think video. I think those are the two things, as well as like obviously text. But that's not going to impact your site size drastically. Number of pages would also probably impact that. But again, that's pretty low, low usage. I think it's the picture piece that probably for most churches is going to use kind of the most gigabytes to hit that threshold. Heidi asks, it sounds like roles and groups smart groups would be the biggest thing that would have to be built separately in both modules. Is that correct? I would ask that of a software consultant. I don't 100% know. I think they sync, but I don't want to say yes for sure and you'd be disappointed. So I would connect with our software consultants, and if you send us an email at this email, I'll get you connected with them. If you include your state, because we have two that kind of split the country half and half, and I'll make sure that they can kind of go through that and any other kind of questions that go outside. I'm not in the product every day in the same way that they are. They live and breathe the product. Can I upload previous sermon videos to a page on Unite? Yes. So one of the feeds that I showed is a sermon feed. So you could create posts and put them in the sermon category and just list all of the sermons that you've ever recorded, if they're on YouTube or wherever else you have them, and put them all on Unite for visitors and congregations to visit after the fact. It's my pleasure, Heidi. In the lower tier, we don't get a custom domain. What does the non-custom domain look like? So non-custom domains would be like, I forget what the one I had is. It's like demo.church360unite.com. Something like that would be your non-custom domain. So kind of the issue with that is that that's not going to rank in search engines. So when people type your church in Google, it's going to be harder for that to rise to the top. And that's the benefit of getting either a bigger plan, or you can also purchase a custom domain separately through us that doesn't require you to go up to the next tier. But if you see more value in going to one tier up, that's an option. Any other questions? I'm here all day. Please speak about the security features of 360 Unite. So that's going to be entirely unique logins for everyone. You can reset passwords if you ever need to, if people forget their passwords. It's a pretty streamlined process. Members, we have implemented the cutting edge level of security called passkeys, and that's something that you're just now seeing things like Google and Amazon roll out. It's more secure than multi-factor authentication. Unite does not have that, but we do keep it very, very secure. All of the information is backed up. There is no risk of security, and we regularly review it for either bugs or like if software kind of changes and we need to update our software, we do that to make sure that there's no security risk to any information on your Unite site. Here, I'll get to Todd, and then Heidi's asking about passkeys. If we already have a website with a custom domain, then choose to go over to Unite, can you take over that same domain? Yes, you can, Todd. Our support team, after you have a subscription of Unite, would be able to do that for you. They do that all the time. that there's no problem doing that whatsoever. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to buy multiple domains for one church entity. Maybe if you had a church and school that were pretty separate, maybe, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. So yeah, I would definitely recommend moving that domain over to Unite. Don't double buy. Are custom domains hosted by CPH? We work with a third party that kind of does that specifically, but they give us kind of a specialized approach for integrating it into our sites. So I believe it's Enom. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we've been working with them for years and love doing so. Heidi, off topic, but can you explain how a passkey works? I am not a technical expert. I kind of know the marketing jargon of how secure it is, that it's cutting edge, but I am not the best one to kind of describe that. I can save your email though, and I will shoot you an email about an article that we have on passkeys to answer your questions. It's a pretty phenomenal feature, so I want you to understand everything that we have available on site. Our support team writes these articles, and so they're high level, technologically focused, but in a way that, office staff can understand. What other questions do we have? Again, I don't use y'all's side of GoTo, but I believe there should be a tab at the top right that says questions that you can submit a question. It's down in green toward the bottom, I believe. So if you have a question, feel free to submit one. I'll be here for a couple more minutes if I don't see anyone submit anything yet. But otherwise, thank you for your time here today, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions or if you're interested in that free assessment. Heidi, do you have a demo website to play around with and to take to other leadership to show? I believe we do. I think I can get that to you. I will mark on this to send you our demo site. I'll let you know. Todd says, thank you for a very informative webinar and taking the time to answer our questions. Todd, it is my pleasure. I'm coming up on my second year in this role, and it's so neat to see all the churches that we impact and serve. And so it's really kind of lit a fire in me to kind of continue in the spirit of what we love to do here at CTS. So again, if you have any questions, I am happy to answer while I'm here. What is the difference between Shepherd Staff and Church360? Okay, so I was just talking to one of our team about this today. So Church360 is web-based. So that Church360 has three pieces. It's a church management software, a accounting software, and a website builder. So Members is church management, Ledger is accounting, Unite that we saw today is the website builder. What's it called? Shepherd Staff. Shepherd Staff is one of the only PC-based software left. You can't get it anywhere else. So we've built it and developed it and still sell it. We sold some today. So that's located on your PC. So for the most case, there's ways to get around it, but for the most case, you can't access that from a laptop or your phone from home. That's the benefit of a web-based software. But if you want something to be super secure, like you don't want it out on the web, despite the level of security that we bring with our web-based options, you could have it just on the computer in the church office that everyone could use that has a key to the church office, right? And so it's PC-based, and it has both the church management part as well as the finance part that's kind of equivalent but a little bit different from Ledger. So you can do kind of manage your membership, your contributions, attendance, all of those things from Shepherd Staff, just as you would in Church360. Oh, Lee is the one that wants the demo site. So I will make sure that. Todd Cook, can you please send the demo set to me? Yes. Yeah, you won't have login features because we don't want everybody kind of messing with it, but you can kind of play around with everything I showed you today. I'd like to see the demo site as well. So again, you'll be able to see like all the things that like we've built out on that site. You won't be able to get into those kind of features, but you can start a free trial, and that will be kind of allow you to kind of get into the tools side of everything. So the what's it called? The free trial, that will be sent to you. The link to that that's on our website if you go to our Unite product, as well as when we send out the recording, that'll be linked there as well. But anyone that just wants to kind of see what the site that we built here today without getting into the builder pieces, I'm happy to just kind of show you so that you can kind of click around and see. It's not perfect because we have so many people using it and working on it for different reasons. But obviously, I think if you can kind of imagine past that and you wouldn't publish a page that's unfinished, then you can kind of see what either work in progress or kind of beautified pages look like. Yolanda, thank you. You're very kind. Yolinda, I believe. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Can the free trial integrate with Shepherd Staff so it takes less imagination? I don't think the free trial does that. I can talk to our software consultants to see if I'm wrong in that kind of quick thought, but I believe that's something that is kind of behind subscription because I don't know. Yeah, because a free trial isn't associated with your customer account. It's only associated with your email. So no, I don't believe we do that. Access is like that. I'm not sure what you mean, Lee. Any other questions? Less flexibility. Yeah, it would be less flexibility from Shepherd Staff to Church360. Just because we want to we kind of want to make sure that the right data is flowing. Because if you don't have a paid account and you're not really kind of trying to build stuff, we don't want like you to edit stuff that then can flow down to your Shepherd Staff account and it could change information. So I want to make sure that like, hey, people that are really trying to make the best use of the integration, it's for their active church use, versus hey, when you're playing around with a trial, that data is not necessarily what people want to be in their database. I hope that makes sense. So about one more minute. Okay, Leah, thank you for understanding. If there's any questions, we might be automatically kind of closed here in a minute, but if I'm still on, I'll stay on. If I have more people asking questions, otherwise, all of you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm getting thirsty. It's helpful. Thanks. Thank you, Lee. Have a wonderful day. Really appreciate it. All right. Looks like everyone's leaving. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump into sending people emails. Have a blessed day and take care. Bye.